Hello everyone and welcome to Stan the Wine Man TV. I'm your host, Stan Rattan, and this is a Blue Collar Wine Show where I help you spend your wine dollars wisely. How do I do that? Well, I taste the wines, I review them. The rest is up to you. I review, the rest is up to you. It's your palate. If it sounds good to you, then try and find it. Today we're going to do a blind tasting, and once again, third episode in a row, my son Micah is here helping me shoot this video. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Micah, for doing this for me. I know a lot of you like these blind events, so I know they're all Pinot Noir. I do know that, but I have no idea what they are. I don't know the price, so I'm just going to pour them and give you my analysis, and then I'll put them in the order where I think they. Gotta get my pen out. I'll put the score on them, and we'll go from there. All right. Let's go for the first one. Let's get right into it. Number one. In fact, I can't even remember where these came from, to tell you the truth. So Pinot Noir got a huge jump during the movie Sideways. I mean, the sales just went through the roof. They've actually leveled out. We were actually happy about it that Sideways increased the sales, but the problem is it decreased the sales of Merlot, which was kind of sad because Merlot is a great wine. Classic example, Right Bank, Bordeaux, Petrus, 100% Merlot. You know, I mean, it goes for a lot of money. People really love it. It's huge. And in Sideways, at the end of the movie, as you know, he had brown bagged a bottle of wine. It was Cheval Blanc, which is primarily Merlot. There you go. So it's a little irony in Hollywood, but a lot of people didn't catch it, and Merlot sales just went down the toilet because of that movie. That was not their intention, but you know, sometimes we're easily swayed if we're not paying attention to the irony of the movie, and who would have known that it was a Cheval Blanc in there unless you were really paying attention? And how many of us know that Cheval Blanc is mostly Merlot? Not a lot of us. There's a few of us out there that know that, but you know, if you didn't know, I would not hold it against you. Let's see what we get on the nose. This has a lot of like red earth. Getting a little cinnamon on this one. Cinnamon. This is like the third episode in a row that I've gotten cinnamon on a wine. Getting a little strawberry notes on the back end, a little bit of red raspberry too. By the way, it's been kind of fun because Micah's come up after the show and he's tasted some of the wines. He's getting kind of his palate starting to get educated. It's kind of cool to watch him analyze the wines. The acorn doesn't fall far from the tree, by the way. Get a little bit of licorice, like red vine licorice. Let's see what we get on the palate. Kind of thin. This is a thin Pinot Noir. It has the acid. It has the cherries, it has a little bit of sweet tart action going on, but this baby's thin. I mean, it's like, whew, there's not a lot going on. To me, this is entry-level Pinot Noir. This is like a, you know, a little bit of burgundy thing going on. It's very light. It has the red flowers, has the acidity, but there isn't a lot of depth in the palate. It's kind of what I'd call boring Pinot Noir. I'm going to go C on that one. Let's move on to the next one. I better write that. I wasn't supposed to say that, but I'm going to write it on there. Yeah, okay. I changed the score, the grade score. Move on to the next one. I need to do more of these blind ones so I'm more practiced at it. So number one, tasted. Now we'll go on to number two. Let's see what we get on the nose. This one's stinky. Has that kind of sulfur thing that goes on with a lot of like sulfur and cherries, which isn't a bad thing for Pinot Noir, by the way. That's a very common characteristic, especially out of Burgundy. You get a lot of that sulfur. It's borderline poopy though. It's got that poopiness going on. There's a little perfume. I get a little touch of cinnamon. A little bit of Asian spice on this one. A lot of cherries, Asian spice. Let's see what we get on the palate. This has a little bit more on the mid palate. Definitely a fuller bodied Pinot Noir. There's still acid. I get the cherries. I'm getting a little plum action on this one with the cherries. A little bit of ripe strawberries coming through. The Asian spice comes through on the back end. Still a little bit on the thin side, but when it comes to Pinot Noir, a lot of people aren't looking for full-bodied Pinot Noirs. I'm not. This strikes a nice balance of good fruit, good acidity. It's a little softer on the palate. It will not age very long. I wouldn't give this one more than 3 to 5 years. The other one, drink it now, for sure. The other one wasn't terrible, by the way. Just a little bit thin and boring. This has more going on. I get a little bit of that bark and earth thing in the mid palate and finish. This is more what I'd look for in a Pinot Noir. That one, you know, entry-level Pinot Noir. This one, more what I'm looking for in a Pinot Noir. I put the grade on it, didn't tell you this time. Oh, these over there. Oh, my son's telling me these are in front of my face, right? Okay, thank you. That's what it's nice to have a cameraman. I'd pile all the wines right in front of me. It might make the episode better, Micah. Nobody can see my face. All right. But you got to see the shirt, you know. It's a little funky. I have no idea what this shirt is about, but can you do a close-up on this one? You know, there's a little thing on the back too, but I picked this up because I loved it. I think I got it in Arizona. But it's kind of a cool little shirt. Anyway, there you go. Number 3. Now we're not doing a close-up on the bag, by the way. I didn't rinse, did I yet? Maybe I did. I like number 2, actually. That was a good Pinot. See, I have no idea. I'm curious. Put 3 right there. How's that? Again, so the kind of that sulfur burnt match thing going on. This one's even more so. I mean, here, Micah, taste this. I mean, this is like the stick of the match burnt. Get that?
Yeah.
Yeah, big time. Which is so common with Pinot Noir. But underneath it, now this one has more of that black tea bark sort of thing going on, which is, you know, a lot of times you get that out of the Willamette Valley. You get that kind of black tea element. Sometimes Earl Grey, which I really like. A little bit of root beer. And then this one actually smells like a Willamette Valley Pinot Noir. I could be way out in left field, but it has the same characteristics of a Willamette Valley Pinot Noir. Yeah, it's got the root beer, sarsaparilla, it's got the cherries, it's got the bark, it's got the black tea. And a little bit of the burnt match thing going on. Let's see what we get on the palate. Whoops.
Yeah.
A ton more structure on this one. this baby, this is one of those Pinots where you taste it and you go, okay, it's a little youthful, definitely will age 10 to 15 years, maybe even longer, has good structure, has the bark, has the tea, has the root beer, has all of those things going on, or sarsaparilla if you want to be like snotty about it. Sarsaparilla, I don't know what. It's root beer, right? Sarsaparilla is root beer. Has good structure, good tannins on it. But it's not like, it's approachable. I mean, this is a very approachable Pinot, but definitely more structured than any of the other two, and definitely more ageable than any of the other two. And it has good cherry notes on it. Definitely the cherries are there. Medium plus acid on the higher acid side, but definitely the bark notes on the finish are incredible. I mean, just like bark all day, bark and dirt. Which, you know, with Pinot is not a bad thing. Don't get me wrong. It's not like you really eat dirt. It's like the essence of dirt. Just a touch of green, a little herbaceousness, but not much. I'm curious for my son to try this. After we get done shooting, Micah, I want to get your opinion on this one. Okay, there we go. Could you tell what I wrote down by looking at it? So, here we go. Kind of feel bad I let the cat out of the bag on the first one, but so my son brown bagged these for me. I had a ton of Pinot in the office. He just picked 3 of them. I told him to pick 3 of them, and he did. And lo and behold, 1, 2, 3, CBA. So number 1, with a C minus. I said C at first, I went C minus. Now, C minus isn't terrible. It's not a D. You could pass with a C minus, right? You pass. Yeah, you pass. This one passed. Number 1, ooh. Solina Pinot Noir, Grand Cuvée, Willamette Valley, 2012. By the way, great vintage out of Oregon, $24. This, oh, here we go. This for 24 bucks. If I would have known it was 24 bucks, good? Mm-hmm. Okay. I might have given it a D. So that's, so Solina, you know, you came out clean because it was brown bagged. I went C minus, 24 bucks. That's a pass. Don't even go there, guys. Do not even go there for 24 bucks. Very, very light for that price. From 2012, which by the way was a great vintage in Oregon. A lot of wines had a lot of fruit on them. I'm surprised about that one. Number 2 with a B minus. I like this one. Had more depth. Had a little more going on. The look at that. Louis Latour, 2011. Valmocine Pinot Noir. Domaine de Valmocine. This is $14 US. There you go. Good bottle of wine, 14 bucks. B minus. Good job. I don't know if I would have guessed that to be from Burgundy, but it had all that burnt match, sort of stinky thing going on. Makes sense, right? And that A minus, number 3, the one I was most excited about. I really like this wine because of the structure, because of the ageability, because of the overall quality. Was the Coeur de Terre Estate Pinot Noir, Willamette. I called it, right? Willamette Valley. Now, I did not call number 1 Willamette Valley, but I got the root beer, I got all that. Willamette Valley, Oregon, vintage 2011. Now, that's a tough vintage. Coeur de Terre, $30. So it's the most expensive one of the bunch, but like I said, that happens sometimes. Got it? Okay. Yep. Now, Coeur de Terre Pinot Gris was my number 1 wine a couple of years ago on my top 40 under 20 bucks. Great winery. They do some great wines. 2011, again, considered a more difficult vintage. A lot of winemakers like that. But there you go. Blind tasting. I love it. $24 Pinot. Totally bombs against a $14 Pinot. And then the $30 baby that will age for a long time did well. All right. Thanks for watching. And remember, Wine is not a mystery. It's just fermented grape juice. And don't get all snotty about Pinot Noir. It's just another wine, okay? And trust your palate. Never get stuck in a rut. Always try new things. Never let anybody tell you what you should like. And if we keep doing that, together we can take the snob out of wine.